Good evening, Belize, and welcome to XTV's news broadcast for Friday, March 14, 2025. Making the headlines tonight, Tracy Panton becomes Belize's first female leader of the opposition. OAS concludes electoral observer mission to Belize. Voter denied a voting right after being transferred without her knowledge. And did multiple reds on ballot paper confuse voters? We take our first break and return with the news in detail.
Prepare for the heat and
Ley de Igualdad de Oportunidades. Belice, estamos listos.
Welcome back. With your news, I am Drea Espinosa. With the unanimous support from all 5 elected candidates from the opposition, Tracy Panton was sworn in as the leader of the opposition at 3 this afternoon at Belize House in Belmopan. She was surrounded by family and other supporters, including Lee Mark Chang and Miguel Guerra, who won the division of Kaya West, running on the Shine Barrow ticket. Also present were some of the defeated candidates from her slate, including Patrick Faber, John Saldivar, Beverly Williams, and Philip Willoughby. It is a momentous occasion, as it would be the first time there will be a woman leader of the opposition in the House of Representatives. Director of the Belize Tourism Board, first won the Albert Division in 2015 over the PUP's Paul Thompson. She repeated that win in the 2020 general elections, also against Thompson, whom she won by just 41 votes. In Wednesday's poll, she won over the PUP's Kaya Katus by 229 votes, winning in areas of the division that she had not previously won. It is an incredible feat, as she not only held on to her division, but increased her margin of win despite additional campaign finances and election day funding from the PUP camp due to the support from Anthony Mahler. The Pickstock incumbent was returned as area rep on nomination day due to being uncontested. Under the last term of the Dean Barrow administration, Panton served as Minister of State for Investment, Trade and Commerce. After the ceremony, she spoke about the historic moment.
It's a historic day for me and for my family, but for all women and girls in this country who aspire to leadership. I am entirely grateful to all those who have supported me, particularly the good people of the Albert constituency. I could not be here without them voting for me and supporting me for over the last 10 years. So.
Did you ever envision this moment when you first started joining politics?
Not at all, not at all. In fact, I never envisioned being in politics in my younger years. Being here is a natural progression in terms of my work in public life. And as I said, I'm humbled and I'm deeply grateful for an opportunity to serve at this level of governance. I hope that I will be able to have a positive impact, affect meaningful change in the National Assembly, that we can elevate the dialogue and elevate the debate, step away from personal attacks and really look at the issues that the people are facing in this country. We are here to serve, and I'm ready to lead.
What is the road to regaining control of the EHQ look like? I know Mr. Barrow maintains that he is the party leader, even though he lost.
That is a matter for my legal team to address, and they will be addressing it within the next couple of days.
But what do you make of his post that he made today, calling himself the party leader still?
I did not see that post. I have been busy trying to deal with today to address this very historic moment. Let me say it again, for women, for girls in this country, for Belizeans from the north to the south, east to the west. You have a leader of the opposition that is completely committed to preserving and promoting Belize's democracy. I have proven that over the last 2 years. I'm not going anywhere. We're resolute about that. And I think it's a big win for the people of this country.
As to any role that Faber or Saldivar could hold in the party, she says that it is yet to be decided.
That is yet to be determined. That is yet, this is day one. After we are running on fumes. I am running on fumes. It has been a long and a very challenging journey. My faith in God and my children have kept me grounded, and for that, I'm grateful. The UDP has to rebuild. It is going to, we have to reconcile, we have to heal, and we have to do that in short order. We are getting ready now to be the next government in 2030.
What are the first steps that you take? What are the first steps that you take in order to rebuild that party? I know that Mr. Pat has already thrown his support to you, and Mr. Guerra is here showing his support. So what are the next steps that has happened?
Well, we have to meet as a wider UDP family. I have been speaking to my colleagues individually, but it's time for us to come together as a UDP family, do a proper post-mortem of what has happened so that we can be guided as to what our next steps should be. I think if you were vigilant on the ground on election day as members of the media, you know that huge, insane amounts of monies were spent in not only in Collet, but in other constituencies. It is a blow to our democracy that we have gotten to the place where money is going to determine the future of this country. Patrick Farber, as you know, is a colleague of mine. He's a formidable politician. I enjoy his support, and he will have a very prominent role to play in the UDP as we move forward.
While Corozal North Area Representative-elect Hugo Pat, who ran under the Shine Barrow UDP, was not present at the swearing-in due to attending to a medical emergency, Tracy Panton today indicated he wrote a letter to the Governor General indicating his full support of her. On Thursday, he stated that the United Democratic Party must unite and that the instructions from his people are that Tracy Panton is their leader.
At the end of the day, Hugo Pat does not decide for himself. The voice out there whilst on the campaign trail was that, look, we have to get our act together, and whatever we need to do to unite, that will have to happen. This is the mandate that I got from my people here in Corozal North. Tracy is the leader, and she will be also the leader of the opposition. No two ways about it.
While Tracy Panton would have been on her way to Belmopan, Moses Shine Barrow was delivering an industrial vacuum to a constituent of the Mesopotamia division. Barrow stated, quote, "When I was first elected to the House of Representatives in 2020, I went back to work the next day. Even though I was not re-elected on Wednesday, I am here today continuing the work I started 12 years ago when I first began my journey to serve the people in Parliament. My love for the people of Mesopotamia is unconditional. I will continue to work with our Mesopotamia family to develop our constituency," end quote. As we have reported, Barrow told the media after his loss Wednesday that he will resign until another national convention is called and a new leader is elected. He signed the Facebook statement about the handing over as UDP leader. The Organization of American States Electoral Observer Mission to Belize has concluded its visit and submitted its preliminary report, which is 19 pages long. The officials were present in 12 of the 29 divisions where the elections were held. The head of the mission, Marikarma Plata, provided highlights of their mission.
We diligently followed the process from the opening of the polling stations through the secure transfer of ballot boxes to the counting stations, the meticulous tabulation of ballots, and the transparent transmission of results. Through our work, we engaged in constructive dialogues with electoral authorities, government officials, political parties and candidates, and civil society actors. This allowed us to gather diverse perspectives on the organization of the elections and the overall electoral framework. We take this opportunity to congratulate all elected and re-elected members of the National Assembly of Belize. Furthermore, we welcome Prime Minister Briceño's commitment to implementing the recommendations of the mission, particularly addressing the redrawing of electoral boundaries early in his new term. We also appreciate his openness to exploring options for campaign finance legislation that are relevant and implementable within the Belizean political and social context. Based on our observations, we present today a series of findings and recommendations. We sincerely hope that these will contribute to strengthening future electoral processes and ultimately democracy in this nation.
Notably, the report reiterated that the 2012 and 2015 OAS missions had made recommendations to strengthen the autonomy of electoral management to ensure adequate oversight. Keeping in mind the constitutional reform process started under the previous Briceño administration, the 2025 OAS mission recommends that neutrality of the electoral administration be enhanced by preventing members of the Elections and Boundaries Commission from holding positions in political parties. To make that process more transparent, the mission recommends that technical criteria be implemented for the selection of commissioners, as well as considering inclusion from third parties and civil society organizations. As it relates to campaign finance, the mission recommends the implementation of regulations to define campaign expenditure limits and set out contribution limits for individual donors. Additionally, it recommends the establishment of an independent oversight bodies to monitor and report compliance with campaign finances, regulations, and giving them the authority to investigate and audit financial disclosures. This would also require that political parties are registered and submit annual audited financials. And we'll have more news after the break.
Freetown, donde estás mejor vivo que muerto. Farmacia Freetown, teléfono 22 32 87 6.
A voter from Corozal who takes pride in exercising her right to vote for every election she can participate in was stunned on March 12 to learn that she could not vote because she had been transferred to another division without her knowledge. Here is Marilee Flowers explaining what transpired.
And when I entered the room, I state my name, give my card and everything, and then I'm told I can't vote because I'm not listed in the constituency, I'm not listed in the district. So I go to the information lady and she looks for it for like 5 minutes and she tells me it's not here. She said, give me a minute. She then proceeded to ask me if I've been married, if I changed my name, if I transferred. I tell her no to all the questions. And then she tells me, but you're not registered. I leave, and my grandmother, who I had taken with me to vote, she goes outside and she talks to Mr. Ramiro because he's outside the office. And so we go and he asks me my name, my date of birth, and I tell him that I had voted in the previous general elections. I have voted in the municipal elections. I voted in the village council elections that had happened as well. He then proceeds to open his phone, look for my date of birth, my name and everything. He pulls it up and he says, you know, we have someone listed, but that name is Marley Wendy Flowers, not my middle name. And so I told him that's not me. And so he goes back in and he looks for it and he says, oh, here you are. But you're listed in Hope Creek. And I laughed because I was like, sir, I could be on the road passing that place. And I will tell you now, I cannot identify where Hope Creek is. So how am I listed in a totally different constituency than the one that I had registered in? And he said, well, did you transfer? And I said, no, I did not. We stand outside for about 5 more minutes, and then all he tells me is that it was an error that had been made at the elections and boundaries department. Like, I did not go in, I was not informed. I had been transferred. I never asked to be transferred. I never signed a document giving authority to anybody to transfer me. So how is it that my information can just be shifted around whenever they feel like it, by whosoever feels like it? They're just like, well, I can't do anything. You can't vote. If you don't go to Hope Creek, then your ballot will not be casted. I didn't get to vote. So my right to vote within my constituency for whichever political party I wanted to vote for was taken away from me. My constitutional right was removed.
The chief elections officer has stated that the matter is being investigated and added that if someone was erroneously transferred, it must be corrected and officers held responsible. The Port Loyola Electoral Division was unique for the 2025 general elections, given that it was the only division where there were 3 candidates with the color red on the ballot paper. There was one each for the Tracy Panton and the Shine Barrow UDP, and then there was Anthony Boots Martinez, who was running alone but claimed the UDP as his party. It was allowed due to the chaos that resulted from the division in the opposition. In other constituencies, there were 2 candidates with the color red. Before the election, many expressed the concern that to allow multiple candidates to claim the same color would lead to confusion and more spoiled ballots. When Sean Vargas, the returning officer for the Port Loyola Division, presented the official results for the poll in that area, we asked if there were more spoiled ballots this time around.
I believe the number rejected and spoiled ballots, I don't have the numbers ahead of me, but they're significantly high for this division.
And you think that may be the result of 2 reds, 3 in this case?
Well, I can tell you from what we saw when we were opening the boxes, majority of the spoiled ballots had to do with voting for the red.
Wow.
That's where a majority of the spoiled ballots came from.
Now that the official results are out, we can tell you that in 2020, the percentage of spoiled ballots for Port Loyola was 2.14%, or 78 ballots. For the 2025 general elections, that percentage was 5.97%, or 152 rejected ballots. It is expected that the mass political parties would conduct a post-mortem exercise of their performance in the 2025 general elections. In the case of the Moses Shine Barrow UDP, there have been at least 2 complaints that the candidates were scarcely financed. We know the case of Dean Samuels, who was to run for Pickstock and never made it to the nomination booth. He cited as one of the reasons that donors disappeared, and it appears the gap was not filled by the party. In the case of Samuel Kelvin, he was running against political giant Cordell Hyde in the Lake Independence Division. He threw his leader under the bus on election day for the lack of financing.
I am very disappointed, yes, that my party leader, Honorable Shine Moses Barrow. The reason why is that he fed us this dream on situation on election 2025. Also, we had the idea that he was gonna, I had the idea, if you come for me at the last moment, you should at least fund me, talk to me about the funding for the Lake Independence Division. So what happened is that I believe that he reneged on his part. He figured that Lake Independence does not deserve no finance because of this man, Mr. Hyde. Yes, he gave me what? 1,000, 1,500, and 3,000 for the what? In a one big, massive division like this. I was surprised when I asked him for a budget. He asked me, send him a budget. I said, I want, but I tell him 20,000. He said, send him a budget. So I sent on the budget for 3 weeks, add up to $64,000. I got it from a professional CPA. I told him this. So what happened is I tell him, if you can't do that, give me half. Give me quarter. Let me have something to work with for Lake Independence Division. But apparently, not even that he wanted to do. So he tagged me along. I asked him Friday, Mr. Party Leader, the people of Lake Independence deserve better. That is our slogan. The people deserve better. But when I asked him for finance, he told me the first thing Tuesday morning. I could show you that text. And apparently, Tuesday came in the morning time. I called him in front of the residing officer, this young lady, for Lake Independence, and he hung up on me. I was shocked. She was shocked too. So I figured maybe he was in a meeting, benefit of the doubt. I called him back. He did the same thing. So I decided to go to party headquarters. I met him. I tried to talk to him. He was in a meeting with the OAS, Organization of American States. When he finished his meeting, that man walked past me like worse than he want dog me a waggy tail and say hello.
In other news, Belizean law student Ebony Maya Augusta Gabriel is studying law at the Norman Manley Law School in Kingston, Jamaica, and has recently achieved many accolades. Gabriel recently completed her first year and topped her class. She already earned law and sociology degrees from UWI Cave Hill in Barbados. Gabriel is following in her family's footsteps as her mother is attorney Sharon Pitts, and her late grandfather Bernard Quinton BQ Pitts was a former Attorney General of Belize. Gabriel shared her accolades and thanked those who have helped her along the way.
So the prizes and awards that I received are Most Outstanding Year 1 Student, the Michael March Memorial Prize for the first year student with best performance in the law of remedies, the Williams, McCoy, and Palmer Prize for the first year student with the best performance in criminal practice and procedure. The Honorable Mr. Justice Courtney Scipio Orr Memorial Prize, awarded to year one student who passed the exams on the first sitting and had the best combined performance in the criminal practice and procedure and law of evidence. And then the Honorable Mr. Justice Dennis Morrison Memorial Prize, awarded to the first year student with the best performance in the law of evidence. First and foremost, I really thank God for seeing me through and allowing me to be able to do this despite challenging circumstances along the way with my health. Very grateful and thankful to my parents, to my siblings, aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my grandmother, and my entire family really has been very, very supportive, I want to also just, thank those who aren't here with us, being my grandfather, BQ Pitts, who paved this legal road for myself and others in my family. My mother, Sharon Pitts, who's an attorney as well, and my late uncle, Alan Pitts, who was also an attorney. I'm grateful to my tutors and my lecturers who were very encouraging and also, took on a mentor role for me.
Gabriel shared that the course has not been an easy one, but said she's persevered and has learned ways to motivate herself. She also encourages the youth to work hard to achieve their goals.
Really not easy. Law school is a very rigorous program, and so you really have to just put in a lot and somehow get as much as you can out of every 24 hours. I just found myself trying to make sure that I did everything that I could do and use my time wisely as much as possible and try to be very focused. I tried to make sure that I just was doing my best so that I knew that at the end of the day, I did everything. I gave my all. And that just meant focusing on studying. That meant, going over material as much as possible. Also trying to balance things and to set up schedules that work for me and trying to keep myself accountable with sticking to those schedules and just doing my best even when you're tired and it can be overwhelming, but just I just try to keep in mind that I'm doing this because I want to achieve this goal at the end, not just for myself but for Belize and for my family and friends, loved ones, who support and encourage me along the way and who sacrifice too to help me be in this position.
After the break, Next Gen to feature the best of the best in weekend volleyball tournament. Stay tuned.
Ladies and 2025. Social security at your fingertips.
This Saturday at the Belize City Civic Center, starting at 8 a.m., 12 teams will battle for the Next Gen Cup and other prizes and be known as the best of the best in volleyball. The competition, which is dubbed the Best of the Best tournament, will see 6 male and 6 female volleyball teams from high school, university, and senior levels compete. Dale McDougall, the communications and media manager at NextGen, explained the concept behind the tournament and spoke more about the teams which will be competing.
So the concept is that we are getting the best of the best in all disciplines, and they will compete for the Next Gen Cup in their discipline. So we're starting off with volleyball on Saturday, March 15th at the Belize City Center. It's going to look at, or it's going to create an avenue for students at the high school level, male and female, students at the university level, and those players from the national who create the form comprised of the national team. They will be competing in their various categories and age groups and levels to win ultimately the Next Gen Cup at the end of the tournament. Teams will be 12 teams. So it's going to be 6 males, 6 females. So 6 males, that will be 2 from high school, 2 from the university level, and 2 from the national team, or the league level. And the same thing for females. So a total of 168 athletes. That's 12 players for each team, and then of course they have their coaches and officials. Those people that make up the team will be participating in the event starting on Saturday at 8 in the morning.
McDougall said that NextGen decided to focus on volleyball to help grow the sport. He added that there will be best of the best tournaments for other sporting disciplines as well. He explained which 2 sports are being considered for the next tournament this year.
I do believe initially the plan was to do basketball next, but there are some of my colleagues who would want to see we do football first. So we're still trying to ultimately decide, but it's one of those 2 that's likely to come next. And the reason why we set up the tournament this way is to encourage people to see that, and we're starting with volleyball specifically because I don't think that volleyball gets the kind of coverage, let's say, compared to, let's say, basketball or football. There are fanatics in those disciplines. And yes, there are fans of volleyball, but I am glad that we're starting with this one because it really gives us an opportunity to showcase the talent of young people. I'm particularly interested, and I'm sure a lot of people will be, to see their faces on television. And so what we're doing here with our sister company TNC, and of course our many partners, it's to create that space. It's to create a platform to let the athletes shine. And so we have players from all over the country that will be participating in this event.
In more sporting news, the big night is almost here as Sugar City will be the host of the 15th Pro FC tournament on Saturday at the Orange Walk Multipurpose Complex, beginning at 7:30 p.m. As we previously highlighted, there will be many interesting and highly competitive mixed martial arts MMA fights. However, one interesting fight will be the debut of young, talented coach Nathan Tillett, who will be facing Placencia's Rudy Cal. Tillett has been involved in the sport for some time, but decided to compete at this year's event. He spoke more on that decision.
Yes, I've been involved as a coach for as long as I can remember, all my adult life. A lot of the guys that are competing, I've coached with them or I've coached their coach. So it's good to finally get in their cage and see what it's all about.
What got you involved in the coaching of this sport to begin with?
Well, in reality, I was looking for a group to train with, and then every group I went, I always ended up leading the workouts and leading the training and the drilling. So eventually, I just kind of fell into that role, and then that role developed from there.
And so, what made you make this next step?
Really and truly, I wanted to try something new. You know, I've seen it all in the corner, in the coaching, in the judging. I've done it all, so I was like, it's now or never at this point.
So tell us about your match tomorrow.
Tomorrow I'm fighting Mr. Rudy Cal. He's a experienced athlete from Placencia. He is a pressure fighter. You know, he likes to come in. So I'm looking forward to testing out my skills against him. I'm really excited. He's coming out of a really good gym out in Placencia at Checkmate Academy. So I'm really excited to see how that develops.
And what are your expectations for tomorrow?
I just want to have a good time, really and truly. You know, I don't want to push anything too hard. No submissions, no big punches, no nothing. I just want to go out there, showcase my skills.
Tillett said that he's ready for Saturday's competition and explained what sets Pro FC events apart from other sporting events. He invites all to come out for his debut.
I feel very prepared. I want to thank everybody that's helped me for this camp. Quick shout out to Coach Amir and Coach Monfoco, who really pushed me to the next level. You know, it's hard being a coach, fitting stuff into your schedule, and they were just so open to taking me in and helping me and developing my skills further. It's one of those things that if you haven't been there, I can't explain it to you, right? It's something you need to experience. Once you go there, it's a completely different world. You want to go to the next one and the next one. It's an experience quite unlike any other. If you've been to boxing, you have a similar feel, but just the reality of two guys just going in there with small gloves and giving it all, kicks, knees, everything, it's just a different feeling. The atmosphere is amazing. You definitely should check it out if you haven't.
The Kidney Association of Belize has organized a raffle to raise funds. The finances will be used to assist members to access life-saving healthcare services. The raffle ends on June 15 and boasts some wonderful prizes which were donated by several partners. The top prize is $2,500 in cash, with the second prize being 2-night stay at the Sunbreeze Hotel in San Pedro. There are 20 prizes in all. There are, again, Kidney Association President Elia Cho.
I also want to invite the public to please come and support us by purchasing a ticket from the Kidney Association. We have 20 fabulous prizes, and these are donated by the various businesses who also assist us in a way to fundraise funds for the association. You all know that the Kidney Association is a non-profit organization, and we try to raise funds so we can assist patients with hemodialysis. Everyone knows that hemodialysis is very expensive, and we have peritoneal dialysis. We have assist patients with medication, with different lab work. Therefore, this is one of our means of fundraising funds for our patients and our members. So we would appreciate if the public can assist us by purchasing a ticket. It's $5 per ticket, and we have, as I mentioned, we have some fabulous prizes donated. So the first prize is very attractive. It's $2,500. So, you know, we ask the assistance of the public. No?
And then until when?
Okay, the drawing date is for June 15th, so you have enough time to stop by and purchase. And if you want to stop by today, we have tickets for sale.
And through a collaboration with UNICEF, all primary and secondary schools in Corozal are to receive first aid kits. The Ministry of Health continues to advocate for healthier students, and while there has been a big push for healthier meals to be on offer for students, the need to promote physical health care is also recognized. The Deputy Health Regional Manager for the North Region, Roger Riverol, spoke more on the initiative.
Visit the schools. We want to thank the Ministry of Education. They partnered with us when they held their principal meeting for the primary and secondary. They invited us there, and we proposed it to them, and all of them were in to it, we are also through the assistance from UNICEF, we are going to give for safe kit to all primary schools and all the high schools. So this is an incentive for them.
And with that, we've come to the end of our newscast. The repeat can be viewed on this station later tonight at 9 and again on Monday at midday. Join us again Monday for another news broadcast. I am Drea Espinosa. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.